Today we're gonna break down the Rell Seas Movie in under 10 minutes. Let's get it. The main menu will look like this and have a loop cinematic animation playing in the background. There are 4 menu options when joining the game. One of them is character customization, which will include picking your race, being either human, skypian, fishman, mink, or cyborg. Some quick tips about character customization are, there are custom traits depending on if you're masculine or feminine. You can equip a single trait as your main, causing there to be various different builds in the game. One of the reasons for that is you can have up to 3 character slots, allowing you to test different builds and play the game with a different experience. Next is progression. The Rell Brothers are promising to not create another bandit beater like most anime games. The key thing about Rell Seas is that progression will be through almost any task in game, but depending on how you choose to progress, it will affect your character in some way. There are 8 talent mastery routes, but no further info is on them yet. One of the ways to get loot or materials in game is through chest, where the player will have to do a small mini game to unlock. One of your item slots will be for utility. Utility tools can be either fishing rod, mallet for ship repair, axe for wood cutting, and pickaxe for mining. As you progress through the game, you will be given stat points. Stats can be put into either health, endurance, spiritual, luck, willpower, or defense. Finally, character grading and reputation will be covered in another video, but are part of the game. After that comes shops. Shops are where you can buy and sell goods. For example, higher tier fishing rods. Shops will be integral to eventually crafting items. Another type of shop is the blacksmiths, where you can go to upgrade and enchant your items. Various materials will be required for blacksmithing, but the materials will be different almost every time. Your weapons can be upgraded up to 20 times. Also, some enchantments are fire, ice, poison, lightning, and sea stone enchantment. We're not sure what these do yet, but I'm pretty sure you can take a solid guess. Blueprints will be important. You will find blueprints as you explore the game. They drop from anything, but mainly come from things like sea beasts and various ship-related things. Blueprints help you craft unique items in game, such as armor, food, and for upgrading weapons. They are also very important into leveling and specializing your character, as explained in this scenario.
Like, just a hypothetical in your head. If you wanted to become a 5-star chef in Rell Seas and open up a restaurant on your boat, that's possible.
Selling. An entire market system will be placed in the game. This will be another way to progress in the game. For example, if someone buys your goods, you will progress in some way. One form of sale can come from using backpacks, although they disappear if the player is not in proximity to it. A few key points are, there are hundreds of possible crafting items, various level of chests, and 90 plus armors to craft. Lastly, mounts can be bought through the shop that looks like a bar. They created multiple different mounts ranging from One Piece characters to original animals like the hermit and the fox. Let's look at the combat so far. Dashing will look like this. Geppo has been changed and is now very similar to GPO and will be camera based. The reason for this change was due to the ladder combat system. As you can see, most weapons will have custom animations, but quick draw will be implemented to interrupt the animations of equipping a tool so players can combo between weapons. Sneaking is another useful part of combat, but will be mainly used against NPCs. Sneaking is when you sneak up on a target, and if you are directly behind them, you can perform an execution, where you will be put into an animation and kill the enemy Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty style. Different weapons will have different executions, not all, and depending on what weapon you choose, there will be different ranges to them. The 3 ranges are close, medium, and long range. Parrying will also be integral to combat. This will work similar to games like Deep Woken. You can parry with right click or Q. The difference being, a regular parry will knock back enemies and a Q spec will allow for follow-up. A little about cooking. Cooking seems like it requires a food source, a fuel source, as well as a cooking apparatus. Another cooking apparatus is the stove, and all of these items can be placed on ships with its furniture system. More on that later. This is what a cooking pot will look like, but there are many ways to cook food. Crew stuff. Obviously, the game will have crews just like block suits. Another thing like block suits is the ability to upload custom Jolly Rogers for your crew's branding, but Rell Seas will have an in-game customizable Jolly Roger tool in the crew customization menu. In the same menu, you can set crew colors that will affect the entire crew's clothing if they choose so. Ship stuff. A ginormous part of the game are ships. Boats will be the main form of travel and combat on the high seas, meaning devil fruits will not be the main component of the game, creating a more grounded and balanced world. As mentioned earlier, blueprints will be required to craft cannons, figureheads, and other ship stuff. Ships will be able to be edited by going to the water, opening the menu, and spawning it in like this. There are 3 types of ships: sloop, caravel, and galleon, excluding the marine warships. Just like the player, ships are extremely customizable, meaning each customization to your ship will affect its stats. Speed, armor, cannons, turn speed, and ram steering are the ship's stats that can be affected depending on your ship's build. Materials can also be added to boats as per this example they give here.
Now the materials, like you see how it's all wooden right now? You can add iron onto your boat and turn it into like a steam powered boat.
Engines are one of the big things that can be changed about ships, like the steam engine that can be added to motorize a ship instead of relying on its sails. NPC crewmates can be added to your ship for you loners that will probably perform certain tasks depending on the crewmate. When spawning in your ship, you get this cool animation that was probably inspired by the anime. Just like mounts, if your ship is stolen, you cannot despawn it and will have to hunt the person down and end them and their entire bloodline.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
To prevent your ship from being stolen, you can anchor it. While on the ship, your walkie may seem buggy, but that was acknowledged by the brothers and has a reason. Due to them adding the ability to combat on moving ships, they need to keep your gravity centered to it so you don't fly off. This doesn't seem impressive, but if you've ever tried to get some bounty from a noob on a block suit ship and this happens, you understand that this is an extreme quality of life change. While gepoing on a ship, you actually stay moving with it. A real life example of this is if you were to jump inside of a moving train, you would end up landing in the same spot you started. Yet, if you were to jump on top of the train, you would be in a different location from your starting point. Everything mentioned so far has been tested and optimized for mobile and Xbox, PC of course. Another component to ships is the water you traverse on. The water is a mesh system and will have zones. For example, after encountering a sea beast or a sea king, you may likely end up in the stormy zone, where the waters will be more rough and a little unpredictable. Another zone would be the tsunami zone, which is just extremely dangerous. There will also be sinkholes in the water that work like water black holes. If you've ever played Assassin's Creed Black Flag or Sea of Thieves, you should be happy because Rell Seas is inspired by them in a lot of areas. In terms of ship-on-ship violence, there will be hit markers after you hit a ship with a cannon. As you hit the hit markers, it will create damage multipliers, so it would be advantageous to go for them when attacking someone's boat. As well as there'll be krakens, but there'll be more on that in the next movie, they said. The last part of the movie was the jail system. One of the ways to get arrested is by attacking civilians. This causes the Marines to look for you and increases your chances of being apprehended. All civs are one shot, but you can hide in various places such as bushes to get your wanted levels down, just like Grand Theft Auto. There are levels to being in prison though. Not levels as in progression, but levels as in security. Level 1 is waiting. Level 1 is waiting. Level 2 is mining. And level 3 is impel down. When jailed, you would be sent to a prison camp. After your arrest, you will be downed and then teleported to a different server. As you can see, if you're in level 2, you'll have to mine for a bit before being unchained, where you can then escape. On the opposite end of being arrested is arresting evil pirates, which is the job of the Marines. Enlisting as a Marine can be done at a headquarters, and in regards to leveling up as a Marine, once you acquire a certain level, you will have to go up in the hierarchy and prove yourself to the world government in order to rank up past that. Finally, I'll throw up what little they said about becoming an early tester for the game on the screen. But that's all for today, peoples. Please like and subscribe if I made your Rell Seas research any shorter. But if you want to see more breakdowns, a link to all my anime game breakdowns will be in the top of your screen and in the description. And in a moment, another video will pop up on your screen you should probably go check out. Millz Mafia out. Yeah.
Get your bag!